right, so this is how it feels. I'm Blake, and I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic. Um, did it just get 10 degrees hotter in here, or is it just me? So I'm from Utah. Uh, I was born in Utah. I grew up in a little town called Wendover on the Nevada Utah border. So it's casino town. Um, Literally, the casinos are on the Nevada side, and the parking lot to the casinos are on the Utah side. So that's where all the people from Salt Lake City go out and do their thing. Hey, I was born there, or not born there, raised there. 6 years old. My parents divorced, um, and there was four of us at the time. I was the oldest. We went with my dad. Um, and there, I didn't grow up with alcoholism in the family. There was really that is never mentioned. I grew up with my dad and my stepmom in a very strict religious upbringing, probably borderline physically abusive, but there was no alcohol. No, I mean, I didn't even know what alcoholism was. Um, Something about me was different. I knew. At 13, I found out that I was adopted by my dad. My mom was my real mom, but my dad adopted me when I was 3 months old when he married my mom. But regardless, I knew something was different about me. I'd hear things in school, and I remember my dad catching me out in the shed at 13, and I was huffing gas out of a lawnmower, um, which now I can't stand the smell of gas. But yeah, I didn't think anything of it. He just, I got in trouble, and that was it. My first drink was probably around the age of 14. My friend and I found that we got a bottle of vodka and went up to the mountain or the bike hills and took care of that. That was the first day that I stood up for myself to my stepmom um, with the physical abuse. And I remember that. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but I just had enough. And so that liquid courage, and it just made me feel good. I didn't really feel good about what I did. Um, but at the age of 15, through circumstances, I went back to this casino town with my mom, and it was just me. And I went from a really strict religious upbringing to a to an environment where I could do anything I wanted. I could, and boom, parties. I mean, from 15 to 17, I was did good in school. I was, prom king, student class president, all that crap, good grades. And then I found alcohol and girls and and pot. Um, I started declining. The summer between my junior and senior year. I didn't, I was into sports. I didn't try out for the baseball team or do the basketball team anymore. I was too interested in girls and alcohol and drinking. We'd go to parties out in the hills, and uh, I we'd go to parties, and it's BYOB, and these kids would show up with six packs and a bottle or 12 packs, and I'd have like 4 cases in the back of my truck, and I never really realized, it never hit me that maybe something was wrong. But through the between 17 and 19, I was impeached from senior class president because of my grades. If you could miss 10 days. If you miss 10 days of school, you got expelled. So I'd miss 9 and come back for 1. But anyway, between those times I got a reckless or alcohol related reckless driving. I rolled my first car at 17. At 18, I rolled my truck and was life flighted to the hospital. I was going 70 miles an hour. I guess the cops were chasing me, but I don't remember. I was drinking until I blacked out. Got my first DUI. I literally got my second DUI 3 days after I went to the class for the first DUI. But I never connected the dots. I just thought it was my bad luck. I was just having fun. I enjoyed drinking. I drank till I blacked out. After I rolled my truck, I didn't have anything to do, so I did homework. So I made up my entire senior year, the fourth quarter, and I ended up graduating, which was good. I kind of calmed down after that. Got into the work field. Was very successful in my career throughout my years. Was dating a girl that I ended up marrying. And then the alcohol started kicking in again, causing that marriage to fail. So I just broke a lot of hearts after that, due to my drinking, caused a lot of major wreckage and damage throughout my 20s. My mom passed away, I think in 99. She died of lung cancer. She was 42. So that hit us pretty hard. I was the oldest of 9 at that time, and my baby sister is the only other person in the family that has this disease. All the other ones either don't drink or are normies. But about the year 2000, I got into the drugs. The drugs took me down hard. I hit my rock bottom. I was in it for about 2 years. Sobered up from the drugs and continued on with my life. But I was still drinking. I mean, I still didn't connect the dots. Still didn't think alcohol was the issue. Years down, fast forward a little bit. 16 years later, after my divorce, my wife and I's paths crossed again, and she had remarried. She had 2 little ones, 7 and 4, and she was married to an alcoholic. Well, at that particular time, I was functioning. I was making good money, a really good career. We ended up getting remarried, and I raised those 2 kids, and things were just awesome, just going great. Still drinking, but I was controlling it, I think. Everything was going great. I don't know why I got back into meth in 2015, but I did. I ended up failing a random, and I'm a field mechanic, heavy equipment field mechanic. So I have to have a CDL. I lost it, had to go to a 3-month outpatient to get it back. But even then, I never thought I had a problem with alcohol. I thought I was a drug addict. I had an issue with meth. And even when I'm going through this outpatient, why are you still drinking? So I only have 1 or 2 beers a night, and I did for the most part. Got through that. Shit started going downhill quick. There were nights where I would I knew I was losing my family. It was getting to the point, this is about 5 years ago, it was getting to the point where I still could not see that what the alcohol was doing. I thought it was my wife's fault. I thought it was my kids' fault. I thought it was everybody else's fault. I was blaming everybody. But there were nights when I would just sit there and I'd just be in a whatever room in my house, supposedly working on it, and just knowing, just sitting there and knowing that I'm losing my family, but I'm drinking and doing lines of meth and not even realizing that that's what's doing it. Fast forward, we moved to Texas in 2019, sorry, right when COVID hit. Sold the house, figured a new geographic location would help. Still not admitting I was an alcoholic. Kept drinking. Drinking got worse because the meth was out of my life. So the alcohol took over, took its grip on me. Started questioning the alcoholism. I'd see this triangle once in a while driving down the road to jobs, and it'd catch my eye, and it's like, that's not going to help me. So, but I tried it. I did try it. I went to a few meetings. I couldn't even tell you what the first step was. Let me fast forward. I blacked out one time in Texas, and my wife had had enough. She said, "We're done." So I ended up moving back to Utah. There in Texas, still. I was there for a year. I was starting to drink and drive my service truck. I was just getting up in the middle of the night with the shakes, and had to have. I knew something was going on. The depression, everything was getting to me. I was staying on a friend's couch. I reached the point where I quit a 6-figure job, income job, because I wanted to drink. I didn't want to drink, but I had to drink. I was staying on a friend's couch. They didn't know what to do with me. They didn't want to kick me out, but they didn't want to see me that way. It just so happens that my friend's mom, that lives in Montana, works for the Salvation Army. She happened to come visit. Her husband had to have heart surgery at the University of Utah Hospital. She saw my condition, and she gave Salvation Army's number to her and gave it to me. And to me, that's my higher power. My higher power stepped in at that time. I was extremely suicidal. I don't know how I got up here, but I got up here. I ended up on a two-day train ride, partying the whole way, just in this dark place, not knowing where I was going. Got here, got checked in, and like, holy crap, they require me to go to AA. So I was like, whatever. I was ready to do anything. I was done. Anyway, there's a class they have at Fred's Big Book study, and that guy, that class is where I realized I am an alcoholic. It just clicked. The dots connected. Everything clicked. I met Bill at one of the meetings. I asked him to be my sponsor. Things clicked. I started working the steps reluctantly, memorizing the steps, memorizing the 3rd step prayer, say it every morning. Went through all of my resentments. I wanted to get it right the first time. And my whole life, I've been trying to fill this hole with alcohol, with whatever. And now I'm starting to feel whole again. And I don't know that I ever have felt this clear and this at peace. There's that peace you get, and it's not constant, but it's once in a while you get that peace, and it's just something that I've never felt before. The light's coming back in my eyes again. I just feel like I have a purpose. I'm very grateful for AA, the Salvation Army, this treatment center. I graduated next week. I plan on going back to Utah, not to where I came from, the same town, but to a different area. And I plan on taking everything I've learned here from Salvation Army, from AA. I'm going to continue with AA for the rest of my life. I'm so grateful to it. And I'm ready. I think I'm ready to get a fresh start on my life. And I owe my life to AA and the Salvation Army. And that's all I got. Thank you.